This year I've lost over 40 pounds of fat and got down to 6% body fat, the leanest I've ever been. Now before I show you exactly a step-by-step on how I did it, I need to tell you a little bit about my story because it definitely did not start here. Whenever I started lifting at 15, I was the skinniest kid in my grade and also the youngest, 140 pounds soaking wet with absolutely no muscle. Up until that point in my life, all I did was play soccer and I didn't really do much physical activity. I was the shortest kid as well at 5'4" my freshman year of high school. Like most teenage lifters in high school, I thought the secret to getting big was eating absolutely everything in sight, or what they call the seafood diet. You see food and you eat food. Well, that turned into the classic dirty bulk. At only 16 years old, I climbed up to 200 pounds, 20% body fat, no abs, no confidence, just absolutely lost, and a whole lot of size. But I do want to point out, I really don't regret it. I sat around 190 pounds to 200 pounds for the next 2 years of my life, just building, tracking all my macros, my calories, definitely skipping cardio, and just making sure I was making the most amount of progress with my gains to really build a solid base for the gym. I knew that before I trusted that lean is law propaganda and really getting shredded, I needed to build some solid size, a solid foundation of mass. Fast forward to now, 20 weeks later of dieting, I have lost over 40 pounds this year alone. 20 weeks in a bodybuilding prep, at 19 years old, I'm about to step on stage as a natural bodybuilder. This year I managed to get absolutely shredded, and this is the best version of me so far. 1 week ago I finally turned 19 years old and I'm about to step on stage at an NPC natural show and then later in 4 weeks an OCB natural show. So whether you're coming off a dirty bulk or simply want to get in the best shape of your life, I'm going to show you exactly a step-by-step blueprint on how to do it the right way. Let's get into it. Before we even talk about macros or cardio, let's talk a little bit about mindset, because that's where 90% of people fail to execute. Everyone wants to get shredded, look shredded, but nobody wants to actually live the process and the true journey that will actually get you there. Whenever I started this 26-week long bodybuilding prep, I told myself from the start, this is not going to be comfortable. I'm going to be pushing my body beyond its limits like no other. I really tried to adopt a mindset of you are not good enough. You are not good enough. You need to be doing the same things over and over every single day and to strive for something that you truly don't know what the outcome will be like. But you need to know in your heart that you gave it your all and you did absolutely everything in your power to achieve the desired results that you set yourself to achieve. The hunger, the low energy, the brain fog, all of that is part of the game. The key to success is truly embracing the lows, embracing the discomfort, and understanding that that is only going to take you a step further to achieving the results that you want to achieve. So instead of complaining, embrace it. That's the biggest advice I have to give for you. With low testosterone that comes by doing a bodybuilding prep, discipline is what's going to carry you whenever motivation is no longer there. And motivation fades away very quickly. So routine and establishing systems is going to be key for success. I never relied on feeling good or feeling motivated. I relied on self-discipline and knowing that future me would be grateful for taking action today. Don't let yourself down. Every day looked about the same. Wake up, fasted cardio, meal prep for the day, hit the gym, come back, make sure you're recovering well, sleeping 8 to 9 hours a night, journaling, making sure I'm tracking all my lifts, everything. Matter of fact, let me show you guys something. For the past 10 weeks, I have written every single day out in this journal, tracking every single one of my lifts, tracking every single one of my meals, tracking my sleep time, tracking my body weight, and doing everything in my power to bring the absolute best package November 7th and December 6th on those natural bodybuilding stages. Because if there's one mindset you need to adapt with bodybuilding, is that you should not expect to win. You should simply expect to bring your absolute best, because you never know who's going to show up. And in this game, the only variable that you can control is what you show up for that day on stage. And a consistent routine of doing the same things day in and day out is how you're going to strip body fat consistently. And here's the biggest thing. I stopped trying to rush the process. I started to be patient. A 20-week plus long bodybuilding prep is going to be hard. I just made sure I was showing up for myself, no cheat meals, no cheating on that diet, no missed cardio, just making sure I was executing day in and day out and trusting the game, because that is how you are not going to burn out on your diet. I went into this for the long game, not a crash out. Way too many people go on way too aggressive diets and then in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, feel burnt out and lose track of focus. don't be that person. The mindset switch was quite simple. Instead of asking myself, how fast can I get shredded? I started asking myself, how long can I stay disciplined to get into the best shape of my life? Because the body you want only shows up whenever your habits line up with it, day after day. Once you've got your mindset locked in, that's when you focus on the tactical side. Macros, training frequency, recovery, and meal plan. And that is the next step that I'm gonna be taking you guys through. Now, before we get into numbers, let me preface this. Whenever I started my prep, my calories were already low because I knew I could handle it. But I also had a coach guiding me throughout this entire process, TNF. If you're really serious about getting shredded this year, guys, I highly recommend getting some form of coach to guide you. Now, the first step is identifying a caloric deficit. I personally started pretty low because I knew I could handle it, but most people can't. So I'd recommend starting 200 to 300 calories below your maintenance. Now, in regards to track your food, you can use apps like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer. They're both free on the App Store, and I'm not sponsored by any of them. Those are simply the best picks out there. If you don't know your maintenance, go ahead and watch my full aggressive mini cut video. I fully break it down there. But a quick rundown. Track everything you eat for a week, track your body weight with that as well, calculate your average caloric intake for that week, and just monitor how your weight moves, whether up or down. After you assess that, if your weight stays steady, there you have identified your maintenance calories. After you find that number, simply subtract 200 to 300 calories, monitor your weigh-ins every single day for the following week, and if you lose weight, good, you're in a caloric deficit. Now, let's talk about cardio. There is no best one. I'm a very firm believer that the best form of cardio is going to be the one that you can do for the longest time and is going to be more sustainable with your daily lifestyle. I personally love walking. I started my cardio off at 12,000 steps, then 15,000 steps, and then at the last final weeks of my pushing phases on my prep, I was doing upwards to 23,000 steps. Yes, it's very exhausting, over 3 hours of walking a day. Now, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can always go ahead and do some incline treadmill, you can do some Stairmaster. I just personally love walking outdoors, so I chose to stick with that. And also, buying a walking pad at home was arguably the best investment I made all year. Now, whenever it comes to training, my sweet spot is 5 days a week. Now, it really doesn't matter. Whenever I first started prep, I was doing a full body split, focused on anterior, posterior, and then more or less halfway through, to switch things up, I started doing the push-pull legs, rest, upper, lower, rest. And honestly, these past 8 to 10 weeks that I've been running this new split, I have absolutely loved it. Now, the split you run really doesn't matter. What truly matters is your frequency, your intensity, and if volume is spread out accordingly throughout the week, and how serious you are whenever you are training. I actually made a full video breaking down how you can set up a workout split from scratch that you can find in my YouTube page, so go check that out if you're feeling lost. Or if you don't want to go through the struggle of figuring it all out by yourself, I've linked 2 of my favorite workout splits in my ebooklet in the link in the description. The main thing I want to say is this. Just because you are cutting does not mean you should be getting weaker. You should be tracking all your lifts, you should be tracking your progression, and you should take every single set in the gym very seriously. I've maintained, even gained strength this entire prep, even in those low weeks. It's all a mindset, and most people are just simply too soft to understand that. Now I want to talk a little bit about the most overlooked factors of cutting, which is your sleep. Sleep is absolutely crucial, especially if you want to maximize the shreds that you are doing while retaining as much muscle mass throughout the process. Getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep is absolutely crucial. That's whenever your body truly recovers, burns fat, and resets your hormones. If you think now you have poor energy after a bad night of sleep, think about that on top of having to do 3 hours of cardio, being on a huge caloric deficit, being single-digit body fat, and having to train on top of all of those factors. You're just setting yourself up for failure. So that's why I really want to emphasize a solid nightly routine will either make or break you. So make sure you have that dialed down. Supplements really vary person to person, but for most people trying to get in shape, I would recommend sticking with pre-workout, whey protein powder, and taking your 5 grams of creatine every single day. I personally like adding a multivitamin, fish oil, magnesium, and a sleep aid, but those are definitely not essential. I'll also say that whenever you really get that lean, electrolytes are very important. Now, for all the supplements I use on a daily basis, I go with the brand Ekkovision because it's simply the best brand out there. Now, if you want to save yourself some money and support your boy, code Fonz at checkout will get you right. Shameless plug. The caloric deficit, the cardio, the training, the sleep, the routines. There is no secret to it. It's just a matter of being patient and executing it day in and day out. And yes, I did my entire transformation naturally, and so can you. While I do understand with the rise of enhancements, peptides, all these things, they can be great tools to help you, I truly don't think that nobody needs them. And plus, these tools are supposed to come into the game to help you become and expand further to what you already are. If you don't have these systems rooted in place, you're just setting yourself up to limit on how far you can actually take your body and take your physical abilities. Now, if you want to use these things to speed up the process, by no means, go ahead, I'm not going to judge you. But I'm just saying, if you truly learn how to do it without any tools, whenever you do apply these tools, you're gonna be going a lot farther than you think you would. Now that you've got a full overall picture on how to get there and the structure, let's talk a little bit about what happens whenever you truly do get that shredded and all the things that come with being shredded. Now, this is where it really starts to get real. It starts to suck. Once you're under 10% body fat, your body does not want to be there by no means. Now, handling 9% is fine, but anything under that, you are quite literally miserable 24/7. You wake up every day and you're leaner, but you're more drained. Your hunger, well, it's spiking every single day. Your emotions, you feel like you're on a period almost every day. It kind of is funny. You start crashing out quite easily. Whenever you really start to get into that 7 to 8%-ish, your brain no longer works. I could not tell you guys how many times I've ran through red lights. I have dropped things. I have gone lightheaded. And it's just part of the process. That's why bodybuilding is such an extreme sport. Now, the worst part of it all is your strength sessions, those gym sessions that you used to love and go in so motivated and excited because your testosterone, which is very much known for being a motivation hormone, well, you just don't even want to be in the gym anymore. And the weights, well, they start feeling heavy as brick. But you still should not get weaker though. You should be pushing yourself every day. Like, don't let your body get weaker. This is the final stretch. This is where you need to push harder than ever, where most people quit. Going from that 10% to that 9, 8, 7, and getting to that 6 is the hardest part of the journey at all. So this is where you need to get everything dialed in. It's a mindset switch. Embrace the lows and accept that you are not good enough, but if you can just go one more day, you will be closer to achieving that dream shredded physique. At this point, you have to double down on absolutely everything. Your routine, your systems, your social life, your gym sessions, everything has to be tracked to a T. In order for you to really get to that 6-7% body fat, everything has to be taken into consideration. The small details really do matter. Mentality. This is where prep really teaches you so many things about life. If I'm being quite honest, these past 6 to 9 months of my life have taught me more than I could ever even explain. I have developed myself emotionally. I have found my purpose. I have truly found inner peace and fulfillment on my daily tasks. And I have honestly transformed myself not only in body and physical state, but also mentally and spiritually. Doing a bodybuilding prep has undoubtedly been one of the hardest things I've ever put myself through, but it has also been one of the most valuable things and most valuable experiences I could have ever been through, because I have truly never learned so much about what my body, my mind, and just in general, I am capable of doing. Honestly, I think everyone should, but then again, understand, this is an extreme thing, and if you don't do it the right way, it could end up very badly. I learned to detach from the mirror. At this point, you're getting flatter, you're getting weaker, you're getting smaller, you're feeling drained. All you have to do is make sure you're executing, listening to whatever guidance you have, aka your coach, and just trusting the process, because I promise you it does pay off, but your mind is going to be consistently playing games with you. The last few weeks of prep are absolutely brutal, but it does pay off. I know that once I finally step on that stage, I'm going to get the most euphoric rush, which right now I'm even getting emotional of just thinking about all that work that I've put in, day out, all the sacrifice I have made this year that led me to this position, that in 1 week I will finally be able to display all the work that I've put in. Regardless of the outcome, regardless of the placement, I know I did my absolute best to step on that stage and give it my absolute all, and that is what counts the most. The feeling of stepping on that stage, all the hard work, all the sacrifice, all the countless hours you have put in to take your physique to the next level, that's something nothing can buy in this life, because it only comes with your pure will and hard work and sacrifices. And that's what truly separates people who want to get lean and want to get truly shredded. It's not the genetics, it's not the luck, It's what you are doing day in and day out for countless months whenever nobody's watching. Now, let's wrap all of this up. Looking back, this entire prep wasn't just about getting shredded. It was about proving to myself that I could truly push past being comfortable, push past being the uncomfortable, and truly get myself to the best possible shape of my life, almost closing into 6% body fat. Now, I still have 5 weeks left, so God willing, we'll get there. 40 pounds of body fat down, a whole audience on social media platforms, day in and day out of doubting myself but still putting in the work. I would not trade any of this for anything. If there's one thing I want you to take out of this video, is that getting lean, getting absolutely shredded isn't just about the body. It's about the mind. It's about proving to yourself that you can push past the uncomfortable, that you can set a new standard of what you are capable of. And once you realize that, once you get to that point, it changes your entire life. And if you're serious about getting that change, about achieving that transformation, I do offer one-on-one coaching. I'd personally build out your routine, structure, and diet plan so you can stop second guessing yourself and just execute. Now, by the time you're watching this video, applications might be open again, so I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to sign up. And if you want to learn more about setting your workout plans up or an aggressive cut, you can check out the other videos in my YouTube channel where I can give you guys full explanations on how to achieve those results for yourself, depending on what exactly you're trying to find. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, check out my other socials. I'll leave them linked in the description down below. Make sure to use code Fonz for all Flavorgang, Ekkovision, and Gympin products. I truly love you guys so much, and like always, God bless, Jesus loves you, I love you, peace.